right, so I'm really excited to talk about this section because I am a volume eater. I absolutely love to see a lot on my plate. That makes me feel satisfied. When I see a small portion, I'm like, oh, I want more, just immediately. So I'm going to teach you how you can bump up the volume of your plate without bumping up the calories, keeping the calories low, so you can stay in that deficit that you're trying to accomplish while you're in weight loss. So let me talk to you about volume eating. Volume eating is basically where you're able to eat larger volume of food, but minimizing your calorie intake. So with volume eating, you're taking foods that are lower calorie and considered high volume foods and bumping those up into your meal so that you have more volume on your plate without the added calories. And I'm going to show you some examples as we go through this. But you can see right here, we've got a soup, we've got salad. Those are just little examples of how you can add volume to your meal without a lot of calories. So the key to this is understanding energy density and what are high volume foods, what are low volume foods. This is a prime example of foods that are very energy dense versus foods that are not that very energy dense. If you look at the broccoli versus the peanut butter in this picture, for 200 calories, you can have a humongous portion of broccoli. But if you use peanut butter to get those 200 calories, you're getting sometimes just one spoon. But they're the same calories. They're producing the same amount of energy. There's just difference in the volume that you're having. So different macronutrients will give you different amounts of calories per gram of the food. Protein and carbohydrates, they give you 4 calories per gram, and fat will give you that 9 calories per gram. So broccoli falls under carbohydrates, 4 calories per gram. And you've got peanut butter, which falls under fats. That's going to be the 9 calories per gram. That's why the fat is just so much more calories in that small amount, is because per gram it's just going to have a lot more calories. Okay, so why is it important to understand energy density? Well, this is how we can make sure we can keep our calories low with what things we choose. I don't know how many times people have told me, I don't eat that much food. That could be true. But the calories within the foods that you're eating, you may have these high energy density foods like peanut butter, or there could be oils added to things, or you have some cheese in there. Those are going to make your small portion on your plate actually contain a lot more calories, but it's not a big volume of food. So I believe people when they tell me I don't eat that much. Yes, but the calories you're eating make a difference. So being able to understand this energy density concept, being able to volumize your plate is going to help you be able to feel full with consuming less calories. You have to watch the portions basically with these high energy density foods. Measure out your peanut butter. I just did a TikTok on peanut butter and what a serving size actually looks like and how you can actually measure that out with a scale. Super simple and be accurate with it. Just knowing the different energy densities, like knowing that foods that contain more fat are going to have higher calories, helps you create your more balanced meals. So you can fill your plate up with these veggies and lean cuts of protein, and then sprinkle in a little bit of the fat. So you have a good balanced meal and control the calories. And it helps with snacking. You can know that, if you're getting a lot of fruits and vegetables, a lot of those you can eat and not really have to worry about how many calories they are. But if you're eating nuts and seeds, you kind of want to pay more attention to those things because they fall under those fats. But yeah, hydration is crucial too. Getting water in your diet and getting those fruits and vegetables that contain higher amounts of water is also going to help you feel fuller with fewer calories. And I'll go into the different foods in the next few slides. So I'll show you. We'll start with the high volume foods, which are considered low energy density. So low energy density, meaning they have low calories within them. So calories is what creates energy. Your calorie is energy, basically. So these have low calories, but they're high volume. Your high volume foods are going to be high in fiber, high in water, but low in calories. You can see these arrows. Okay, so some examples. I'm guessing you could have figured this out. Definitely vegetables. The leafy greens, you can throw tons of that into things. Veggies. Now, these are not the starchy vegetables. These are, you can see some cruciferous vegetables. You could see more of the watery vegetables like cucumbers, celery. Those are like barely anything. You can eat a lot of those for very few calories. Then you've got fruits, especially berries. Berries are very low. Egg whites are a great example of another high volume food, just the egg whites. The yolk, it has the fat. So if we take out the yolk and you just have the egg whites, you're basically getting like 15 calories or so from the egg whites, but getting a decent amount of protein. So adding egg whites to things can bump up volume, bump up protein without adding a lot of extra calories. Okay. So some moderate volume foods, this is where those starchy vegetables start to come into play, those root vegetables. These have some fiber, they have some sugar, they're a little bit higher in calories, so they do add up a little bit faster, but not as much as the low volume, high energy density foods like the nuts and the fats and all that kind of stuff. So some examples, you can see the root vegetables that everyone loves roasting. We've got beets, carrots, sweet potatoes. Your whole grains will fall into here too. And then the lean cuts of meat. These foods fill you up, but like I said, they're a little bit higher in the calories versus the high volume foods, but a little bit less than those foods that we're about to talk about now. Okay, so low volume foods. These typically are high in fat and have more sugar in most cases. A charcuterie board is a prime example. Things that might be on there probably fall into this category. So you've got the fattier cuts of meat, cheese, butter, oil, nuts, seeds, dried fruits, and even the juiced fruits where you're not getting the fiber because we're getting rid of like the peels and all that kind of stuff. Honey, peanut butter, maple syrup, breads, pastas, all those like not the whole grain versions are faster sugars into your system, so they fall into this category. Ice cream, chips, most of your processed foods will fall into this category. And then condiments as well, like mayonnaise, super calorie dense for small volume. So those fall in these low volume foods that are high energy density. Basically meaning small amounts will give you a lot more calories. So just be mindful with these things. I'm not telling you don't eat them. Like, I love these things, but you have to be mindful of the portion sizes. And then here's some simple ways you can start to add volume to your meals. Oatmeal and salads, if adding things to those can really help. Oatmeal, you can add like fresh fruit. Salads, obviously, besides the lettuce, you can add more veggies in there and really have a big bowl of salad. And it's not really going to add up to that many calories. If you eat your vegetables raw, you can feel like you're eating more because when you cook them, they start shrinking down, especially like spinach. Eating 4 cups of spinach is going to be a lot more, like it's going to feel a lot more filling than if you cooked 4 cups of spinach and it shrunk down to like a little leaf. That's just what happens when you start cooking veggies. They start shrinking. Adding egg whites to things, like I just talked about, you can add more egg whites to your omelet. It'll be more protein. It'll be a little lower calorie than if you did a full egg. And there's a lot of other cool tricks where people add egg whites into things. I haven't experimented that much, but there's some other things that people do. Making sure you're putting veggies in your meals. Think about, like, this is one trick that a lot of people will do. They love macaroni and cheese, but they want to bulk it up. Throw veggies in there. You're going to have a huge bowl of mac and cheese, put some broccoli in it, and now it's a broccoli mac and cheese, and it's like a delicious combo, but you're adding more volume to it with the broccoli and watching the portion of the actual macaroni and cheese that you have. And that's one way that you can volumize a meal, just by bumping it up with that. Cauliflower rice mixed into things, zucchini noodles mixed into things. Cauliflower rice you can actually add to regular rice and bulk it up. They also have, which is at the bottom line, these konjac or shirataki noodles. They're also called miracle noodles. You can find them in the stores. They're basically a fiber, and they equate to like 15 calories, like for a cup amount, maybe sometimes even 5 calories, depends on the different brands. But these add volume to your meal without calories because the whole cup is only 5 or 15 calories. They make noodles, they make a rice version. They've got so many different ones, thicker and thinner version noodles. That gives you some bulk, but you're not really getting any nutrition from that. It's just kind of adding bulk. If you're adding cauliflower or zucchini noodles to things, that's going to give you some more nutrients from the vegetables. It's a great strategy, but both work very well for adding volume to your food without adding extra calories. When you're choosing snacks, maybe go for more airy ones. Popcorn is a good go-to for me. I get 100-calorie bag popcorns. I pop it. I can eat the whole bag for myself. It's fun. I like volume. Be careful though, because the ones with all this extra butter added are a lot more calories for their servings and are not necessarily the 100-calorie bags that are easy to snack on. Just watch your portions. But rice cakes are also good. Any of those puffy type of snacks, they're not going to have much to them, but you're going to have something to crunch on and snack on that doesn't add up to that many calories. And then you can also just make soups. Like I showed in the earlier slide of the picture of the soup. You can even, people will do this all the time. There's this red pepper cauliflower soup that people are obsessed with, and I'm obsessed with it. But you're literally blending the cauliflower into the soup to create the cream aspect of the soup. You can add a little bit of something to help it be a little more creamy, but that like makes you feel more full because you just blended a ton of cauliflower into it and you don't even know that the cauliflower is there. There's different types of soups out there that you can do this trick with, where you blend up the veggies into it. There's probably a broccoli soup that you could do the same kind of thing with, cooking the broccoli or cooking the cauliflower and blending it and making it more of a creamy soup. I do that with the butternut squash soup in the fall. I'll blend cauliflower into it to help make it thicker and creamier. And then it's got extra vegetables in it besides the butternut squash, which is great. But those are some ways that you can add more volume so it's a little more filling, but not add a ton of calories. And then I've got some different meal ideas. You can take a screenshot of these. This is just some of the different volumized meals that you can do. You've got like zucchini noodles with pasta. You can even do real noodles with zucchini noodles thrown in there and, you know, everything else that you wanted to have in there. I do that a lot with Asian dishes. I'll take zucchini noodles and throw it into some of the lo mein noodles and then the rest of whatever is in the dish. And then I'm getting a little more vegetables in there. Cauliflower fried rice, just using cauliflower as rice helps bulk things up. But the fried rice is a good go-to for a lot of people. My picture's in the way of that one. Let's go to the next. So then we've got stuffed bell peppers. You can stuff a bell pepper with, and a lot of times people put cauliflower rice into the stuffed bell pepper instead of rice, or you can do both. That's one thing you can do, or quinoa. Then you've got different omelets where you can add more egg whites to them. The soups that I talked about earlier, you can look up different volumizing soups. cabbage stir fries or crack slaw, which is an amazing recipe. It's a good go-to. You can make different variations of it, but you can have a ton of that cabbage in there. Throw in a leaner protein to go in with it, and it's delicious with all the different seasonings. Greek yogurt, the non-fat Greek yogurt, you can do some awesome stuff with that, adding in different mixings and control what sugar does go into it. Great source of protein. Stir fries, and especially when you're using shrimp. Shrimp is very low calorie. You can eat a lot of shrimp for low amounts of calories. And lettuce wraps. Lettuce wraps, you can do like the little chicken or turkey lettuce wraps, and you can do lettuce wrapped burgers too when you go out to eat. Those are some different options that you can do to add volume to your meal without adding extra calories. So hopefully this was helpful. I know that I'm a person who loves to add volume to things, so wherever I can throw in extra veggies to bump something up, I do it. Ooh, also forgot to mention, tomato sauces and things, you can also blend veggies and hide it into the sauces too. So there's a lot of different things you can do. You can Google different ideas. There's a ton of things on Pinterest, but that was just a little bit, and hope it was helpful. I'll see you in the next video.